And I think it's taken a little bit of time. And you can understand why. That squad was largely assembled by Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou is showing at Spurs right now what a top-class manager he is. And I think that, because managers use the word trust all the time, that the manager needs to be able to trust these players to perform the way that he's asking them to take on the information, to play the game under instruction. The players need to trust the manager that his instructions are the right instructions, and they might be a little bit different from the last guy. And wait a minute, this last guy is really good. You just need to look at what's happening at Spurs. And then there's the factor between the fans and the team and the manager, and the element of trust there. And the way that I look at Celtic just now, over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, you can feel it, the reconnection. The players have learned. The new guys that haven't worked with Brendan Rodgers before have realised, you know what? This guy really knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And the little tweaks that he's making, they are making us more competitive in Europe. Where Ange, I think Celtic were a bit too open, a bit too vulnerable, maybe a bit too naive. And maybe that could have been, Brendan Rodgers could have been accused of that first time round as well, a bit of naivety, not pragmatic enough. But I think game by game, these players are realising, look, if we do what this guy tells us to do, we're actually improving, and we can feel the improvement. They trust what they're being told. Brendan Rodgers trusts these guys to go out and play the way he's instructing them to do it. And you can feel that the fans are starting to trust the team again. And it builds a very healthy picture all round. I mean, not for this campaign, because I think Michael's right. I don't think Celtic are going to get third now. I think when you look, Feyenoord's result last night was probably the worst possible outcome.
No, it was a nightmare.
I think a draw in that game would have been ideal. Even, a Lazio win might have not been the worst thing in the world. I think third place is going to be a real stretch now, because I can't see Celtic going to Madrid and taking anything. As good as the performance level was last night, I think they're going to be looking at 1 point from 12 going into the final 2 games, and I don't know if it's going to be achievable from there. But in terms of this level of trust, I think the supporters are now. Well, did they trust Brendan Rodgers when he came back? I'm not sure they did. Do they trust him now? Sitting, 7 points clear at the top of the league, performing like that against some of the top clubs in Europe, I think they trust him wholeheartedly again. And you can feel it, and you can feel there's a better atmosphere around the place. And Brendan has spoken about that as well, the importance of unity, the importance of everybody moving forward together. I don't think he felt that was the case for the first few weeks. I think he felt there were people who were waiting, with knives ready to be drawn, and in the hope that he fell over, that something went wrong. And I'm talking about within, the Celtic support. They didn't want him back. I think you'll find that that no longer applies. This feels like a healthy sort of environment around Celtic now, and it doesn't bode well for this campaign, but certainly bodes well for the domestic campaign and for future European campaigns to come.